So we don't have Austin today, but we'll work around that.
I mean, that kind of makes the most sense because maybe he's not able to talk.
Yeah, he's a little almost dead.
He's fallen to pieces.
Okay, and we're going to play until 4:30, so we've got about 2 hours. Because we got to end a little early today.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, the 3.5 of you are on your ship, and you're headed out into space. First question for you: what is the ship called?
I think we were a little preoccupied to be naming it right now.
Mercer.
It's in the the title. So you know how there's the center console, there's a little checklist of things you tell the spaceport when you're going in, and this ship is just called Vris Freighter 47.
Solid.
Alrighty.
And Mez, upon seeing that, kind of looks at it and says, "We need a new name."
Perhaps you should do something about what's his name again?
Dorian.
Dorian?
John, what was your second question?
Huh?
Did you have a second statement? You said first things first was the name of the ship, and I gave you a placeholder.
Okay. Yeah. So, one moment. Okay, so, you guys have with you a very crippled, kind of strange life form. A pretty illegal life form.
I can't eat that.
As you all gather around the twitching, blinking, probably smoking body.
Is he oozy?
Excuse me, sir.
There's some oil
Okay.
oozing out of him.
This is a no smoking cabin. Excuse me, sir. Can you put that out?
Please.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You just jettison him out of the airlock.
Please move to the back of the plane.
Please volunteer your seat to a non-smoking customer.
So, you guys warp out of the system. I believe that's where we ended last, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a galaxy map, perchance?
A galaxy map?
Yes.
I do not.
Okay.
So, as y'all are heading into a new system, and I believe you guys were just kind of jetting it out of here. So,
Yeah.
what system is not particularly important at the moment?
Yeah.
You reach relative safety and gather around the messed up body of the supposed lizard man, Dorian. As you do, the sort of blinking, twitching, groaning body begins emitting a sound. And it's this sort of strange crackling sound, but it sort of starts to refine itself into a clear voice. And the voice coming out of him is definitely not his voice. It says, "If this beautiful individual is damaged, bring him to me, Marloto Habdintius, at the following coordinates, and I'll patch him up, no problem at all." If this beautiful individual is damaged, bring him to me, Marlorto Habdinchis. At the following coordinates. I'll patch him up, no problem at all.
I put in the coordinates. And I can... We can warp there, correct? How long will the journey
We
take?
only have so much fuel.
I think we'll be able to get some fuel at the next system we go to.
You can...
Would we have heard this message prior to us picking a warp destination?
I think you guys... Actually, yeah. Because you generally don't want to warp while you're... Well... So I'm trying to think of how warping this works, but you can warp from more or less anywhere.
Let me explain what I was thinking. You can't warp in atmosphere. Okay.
Right.
And I think what would have happened is we would have gotten him onto the ship. I would have been in the cockpit. This would have refined its voice enough and started emitting these coordinates. And Drix or Ma would have told me, here, these are some coordinates. And as we left atmosphere, I would have put in those coordinates. And by the time we got a safe enough distance away from the spaceports, because I would assume, based upon those, so the inner atmosphere, outer atmosphere, and then like space, but there's probably a gap where they don't want you warping, where the spaceports and the dry docks orbit, and I think you have to be just outside of that, and then you can warp.
Yeah, makes sense. So that's my explanation for why I think we would have known these coordinates and just gone there first, as opposed to warping somewhere else. And you're in the cockpit, and the other two then are in the ship with the body, because we're not out of the system yet.
Correct. Can you track someone through warp?
We what? Someone?
Track.
Oh, track.
It's a good question. What do you guys think?
How does warp work? What's the science?
Is this like Star Wars?
So, the science of warp in this is that it's not physically possible, and the invention was actually inspired by the entity.
Huh.
And so it's a technology, but it lets you bend the rules of reality to bend the laws of physics that control like your maximum speed. So I don't believe that it's teleporting. I believe it's like launching yourself super fast. Do you guys like that? Does that make sense?
They've gone to full plaid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that because it's not teleportation, you would be able to track some of the warp, but you wouldn't be able to get like specifics. I wouldn't think. I think you'd be able to warp and say, oh, this is their course. Their trajectory. We can kind of think what's on this line.
Right.
As opposed to figuring out that's where they're going. And so it's more of like we know where they warped, or like what direction. We can kind of figure out where they might be going based upon that line.
Yeah. And we don't want it too specific, because then people can track us that way. So I like this.
Well, I mean, we could have it where you could track very specifically, but you would have to have some sort of device on the ship. Like that would make sense to me, that you can track someone through warp. It just, what happens is
it's actually
the tracking device disappears for a second and then just reappears in a different place.
Huh.
The same way the ship does.
Oh.
But I doubt they have a tracking device on this ship. They might, but I would doubt it because you're not going to put tracking devices on all of your ships in impound.
Why not?
Ineffective, costly.
You. Oh,
What if it's cheap?
I mean, who
Then
knows?
they could. That's I would leave that determination up to John. If they thought that this was a good enough vessel for them to put a tracker on, then we'll be tracked. But otherwise,
that'll be exciting.
I would think that you have to like plant a tracker, and I could probably do some stuff, and you could too, to check if the ship has one. But I would like to get confirmation from John whether or not what he thinks about that.
Well, would you guys know that?
That they
That's the thing, we wouldn't.
put trackers on.
Right? And or how much a tracker costs.
Well, I certainly wouldn't.
Maybe Drix would.
I think I'd only know if we did like anything related to ships and tracking for our gang or good jobs. But, like, were we really like an interplanetary gang or like just on the city?
I think mostly on the planet itself.
Then we probably didn't deal with like intergalactic tracking.
Intergalactic planetary.
Intra?
Yeah, I think, well, for our purpose, it'd be intra. Do they have one in the galaxy? Okay, so, Drix and Maw, you are actually the ones standing around this body as you hear
Still
this
can't eat
message.
it.
If this beautiful individual is damaged, bring him to me, Marlorto Habinchus, at these following coordinates, and I'll patch him up, no problem at all.
Well, that's convenient. It's somewhere to go. Should we go there? Maybe we can bring him back to life.
I'm in the cockpit, so I have nothing for you.
Whoop.
Oh, wait. Wait, I thought the three of us were in the...
Jeremy is saying that this message came as you guys were driving away from the planet. So, Maz is flying the ship right now, and you two are standing with. Yeah.
Right.
And based upon what Richard just typed, I'm gonna go with he tells me, and I put in those coordinates.
Oh, okay.
And we fly away.
Wunderbar. Zoom, zoom.
All right. So, your companion, unconscious, but his secret
Toby,
robot infiltration-ness revealed.
Toby, can you go to push talk so there's not as much of an echo from John? Por favor.
Oh, I can go to push talk. I'm not on it right now.
Well, it's like you're echoing through theirs.
I'll just go in the closet. Give me a sec.
John, you talk too loud. Thank you, sorry.
Okay, keep going.
Boy, sure is interesting to be in my room alone, entirely alone, because there's no one else here, for sure, definitely. Anyway, so Dorian's true nature revealed and the strange message heard. You guys,
Oh, hi, Mars. Jeez.
yeah, he likes to hang out in there.
Sorry.
Yeah, it'll take you a couple of days, I think, to warp to this place.
Are
So-
warps a lot of hops, or are warps more Star Warsian, where it's like one giant tunnel? Yeah.
I think it's like one giant tunnely thing,
Okay.
and you're just like speeding at crazy, ridiculous speed.
Okay. So it's more like hyperspace versus warp, or like hyperspeed.
Yeah, you're not like... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is warp technology... Because I'm now going to count warp technology as different than hyperspace technology, or hyperspeed technology, which is what I would consider this. Is warp a thing?
What do you mean by warp? Because I'm thinking this is warp in the sense of like Star Trek or Star Wars, right? Where it's like you're just shooting through space ridiculously fast.
Yeah, warp to me is more like wormhole technology, where it's like you take a path and it's just really tiny, and to get from point A to B, it's just like a condensed space, versus you're just traveling really fast.
I don't think that's canonically warp. Warp is like expanding and contracting space in front of you and behind you, and like
Whoa.
moving faster because of that.
Okay. I don't know, warp to me screams teleportation, but it's not an issue. It's just more my sci-fi brain is like, ah! But perfect. That upon 3 or 4 days, so that's going to be more like a long rest, for all intents and purposes, or a multiple long rests.
Yeah.
I am, as soon as I push in the coordinates, I'm gonna kind of throw it into autopilot and go see Dorian. Dorian. Yeah, and upon inspection, can I, like, tinker with... Can I tinker
Mess with his insides.
Yeah, can I tinker with his insides? Because I assume that message is just going to keep playing and playing and playing, and want to turn it off so we can maybe try and talk to him.
Yeah, it only plays when you're like in the room. It's not just like constantly playing every 20 seconds.
Okay.
Excuse me. But yeah, so as you enter, you see him. It starts playing the message. Let's see. Is there a mechanics skill?
There's repair.
Engineering. Oh yeah, there's like proficiency with repair tools.
Sounds right.
Yeah, because I have that. I have repair tools.
Do you have repair tools?
Yes.
Neato burrito.
Okay.
And are repair tools a single-use item?
I don't think so. I think they're just a tool set. I don't think it's like Dungeon World where it consumes.
That's right. That's just double checking.
Okay, so roll your intelligence.
I'm gonna roll my repair tools.
Yes, roll your repair tools. So as you're sort of examining him, just to kind of see what you could do, you realize that you have never seen this technology before. This is really bizarrely put together. It doesn't seem to make sense, and it doesn't look like anything anyone would build. Like it, yeah. It just seems like nonsensically put together. Not in like a crazy way, but in just like a why. Like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. There's elements of the construction of Dorian that are just beyond any knowledge that you have of how to construct, or of how you would go about constructing anything.
Is there anything I can do to fix him? I don't want to fix him. I just want to make it so he can talk again, specifically to us. And I like, while I'm doing this, I'm asking him questions. Like, can you hear me? Please repeat the last, 10 seconds that happened. Or various things like that he can see in the room. Okay, what's above you? How many fingers am I holding up? And just trying to gauge how functioning he is.
Basically not at all functioning.
Okay.
He's, for all intents and purposes, just turned off. Some of his motors and things seem to be whirring and twitching every once in a while, kind of randomly.
Okay.
And obviously whatever device is making, whatever part of him is making that sound is on, but his eyes and everything don't appear to be on.
Okay.
His eyes are closed is basically what that means.
Mars, I need the door.
Okay, then as far as what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put it into a layout that makes the most sense with how the parts and the body kind of work. I'm not going to try and fix it. I'm just kind of
Oh yeah, I mean he's more or less still in one piece because there's at least bits of flesh and cords and stuff holding him together.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and keep the thigh together, or what I think is the thigh together, and I think this is part of the rib, and just anything that's out of him, try and just
shove it back.
Okay. Drix and Ma, what do you guys do on the couple of days journey you have?
I kind of want to look around on Dorian for a data port.
It's in his butt.
Chobits.
God, that's an old show.
I want to explore the ship.
Okay. So we should talk, I guess, a bit about the ship itself. So we're on a light freighter. It's, I think, crewed in the rules by 2 or 3 people.
Perfect. Or we are 3.
I forget exactly, but what I kind of want to do is pull up an actual schematic of a ship, so that we'll just have that as your guys' ship. I have some that I found, but I'll probably create some kind of form for you guys to vote.
Okay.
On which ones you like. Because I mean, I basically if we're going with the idea that for the campaign the ship is your home, I really want it to be something you guys like, not something I picked out for you and mandated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mandated.
So, we'll probably do that. But
4 stations.
basically, it's 4 stations.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good thing there's 3.5 of you.
What are the 4 stations? Does it say?
Gunnery piloting sensors, engineering sensors, and then gunnery. So like pilot, co-pilot, engineering, gunner.
Okay.
I'll take gunner, I guess.
Yeah. Throw you on gunner. Richard, you're...
Each one gives a gambit.
Oh, you're... interesting. Richard, I would probably throw you on engineering and throw Dorian on the co-pilot.
Yeah.
When Dorian comes back to life.
Oh,
Okay.
so,
Wow. What a gray ship.
right? This is just the home screen. I haven't decorated it yet, but I'll put the ship on here, and I'll also put like kind of an inventory of stuff you guys have listed on this page so that we can just all see it. And this is when
Richard?
I take away your drawing privileges.
Beat me to it.
It's a beautiful ship.
That is a beautiful ship. Okay, so anywho, Ma, as you're going around checking out the ship, it has probably 1 or 2 large cargo storing areas that can hold quite a bit, and that has crew quarters for, let's say 4 people, since there's 4 of y'all. And there's 4 stations on the ship, so it makes sense to have a crew of 4. There's a galley with a kitchen. There's a few like dehydrated meals and stuff in here, but other than that, not really any provisions since it was impounded. The couple of dehydrated meals that are in there look very dusty, like they've been sitting in their little packages and cans for quite a while. Yeah, and then other than that, there's just kind of like generic. There's an engine room. There's, I assume, restrooms, or I guess maybe there's restrooms in each crew quarter.
That's pretty spacey. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I remember in Firefly they have bathrooms in all of their rooms because they're like embedded in the walls. They like pull the sink out of the wall. Yeah.
Each room was like a studio apartment?
Yeah, a really small one, but yeah. Mal has like a sink and a toilet embedded in his wall.
Oh yeah, I remember the sink. I didn't know he had a
He's also
toilet.
the captain, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they show a toilet, but I assumed there was one.
Mighty assumption.
I mean, we have
Okay,
schematics of the Serenity, and we know that there isn't a bathroom. So we assume.
One can hope.
Yeah, so that's the ship, and as far as like specific schematics, and if you guys want to like
Richard,
decorate or buy furniture or something, you can do that.
Richard, this ship turned out really well.
Yeah.
Pretty good. What's going on here?
The wheel.
That's the. Oh. Why is it emitting brown beams?
Because those are the handles.
Why are there handles on the back of the ship?
This is supposed to be fire. We were supposed to be in space, but then Richard put water.
Because of the ship.
So
there's the wind is blowing in which direction here?
it looks
That
like
way.
yeah,
Because it looks like the wind is blowing that way, but for some reason the flag is being blown backward.
Because we're going so fast.
Yeah,
We're going so fast.
Yeah. Well, because like we also have the fire.
Oh, I see. The fire is going this way.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You got it.
It all makes sense now. All right. So, And then Drix, you were looking for some kind of data access point on Dorian.
Yeah, and probably do more stuff if that doesn't pan out.
Okay.
Let's see. So there's not like a repair skill. So do you want to just roll intelligence?
Sure, I can do that. Boop.
You do not find a data access point.
Wow, what weird technology. Alright, I'm gonna go explore the ship for like study the engines, study the terminals, all that good stuff.
I made space. The waves are the space lapping upon the hull of the ship.
This is what warp looks like, actually.
Yeah,
You
like
go,
you
go above space and then sail across the water of space.
Yeah, but it's not like actual water; it's like entity water.
Yeah,
because space, like cats, is actually a liquid.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you check out the engines and everything. They, seem to be functioning like engines should. Y'all are alive. There's like a nice backup life support system, so that's convenient. There's backup power system. That's a good thing to have.
Excellent. Are there any spacewalk suits?
No.
Interesting.
No, I assume that probably would have been taken out of the ship when it was impounded.
I can see that. You think they take the food too?
Yeah, I'm imagining for the food it's like a few cans that were like in the back of a cabinet that someone forgot about.
Probably. What I actually imagine is there's probably some under the in the desk of the cockpit that are like they're just snacks. Yeah, they're like snacks and stuff that are like, oh, I don't want any of the rest of the crew to find my good food, and it's like tucked under.
So you guys are just like living on Funyuns and trail mix for the several days of your warp journey?
Yes. That is how I see this going.
Okay. Anything else you guys would like to do on the journey?
No, I think this is about it for me.
Talk. I would like to talk with specifically Drix, but I do not mind if Ma is there. Like it's like I have questions for Drix because I don't think that Ma will have answers to them. But it's not like this is a hushed conversation. That makes sense.
Okay.
Drix, have you seen anything like this? I took a gander at his insides to see if I could put him back together, and I've never seen a makeup like that. It was beautiful anarchy. It did not make sense the way it normally should, but worked so perfectly together. But I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't figure out what the anarchy was. I didn't know the pattern of chaos that would put Dorian back together.
No, I've never seen something like that.
So we're going to repair him. Do you think that's the best thing for us to do? This is illegal technology. Granted, we are criminals, but
We're already in the illegal.
This is a different level of criminal than I want to be. This is
it's
far above anything that we have done.
Yes, it's a crime, but it's also saving a life, isn't it?
That is not the point right now. That is a moral quandary that I will happily get to. But I want to know if we're okay with dealing with this kind of illegality. Like this is
why not?
This is a lot. There's no going back from this.
I don't think we ever intended to go back. Why would we want to?
There are things that I wanted from this life. But with this, it seems like I'm going to get them. But as far
This
as
what?
your quandary goes, I agree. This is saving a life, and I would be remiss to not save him because I feel like it was my plan, or part of my plan, that got him killed. So, I feel that it is my obligation and my duty to make him better. But again, this freaks me the fuck out because he was really good at blending in.
Yeah, it's
And
very interesting technology.
I'm concerned if there are more. But
Well, I suppose we'll find out if this guy really is at these coordinates.
indeed,
We can ask him if we'd like.
that's very true. It concerns me a lot. This this is a little deeper than I wanted to go. But
I have nothing but time. I do not mind a long adventure. I finally made it to space. Ah, I must find a window. I go to a window.
there are many. Well, Drix, I wonder if we can learn something about this technology so we can try and repair him if this ever happens again. Because that way we do not have to keep coming back to... What was the name, John?
What name?
The
The dude from the
mechanic,
message.
the creator.
Repairer.
If this beautiful individual is damaged, bring him to me, Marlorto Habinches, at the
Marlotto.
following coordinates.
Marlotto. Because that way you don't always have to come back here if something goes wrong. But just that's all I had. For the rest of the time, I will be studying, as I assume Drix would be studying Dorian, and just trying to see what applications some of the technology could be used for, and if I can understand any of it.
Say that again? Sorry.
I'm basically, for the rest of the journey, going to be... there are two things I want to do. I want to examine the ship for any sort of smuggling holds or modifications to the ship that wouldn't be on the registry. And then to study the technology of Dorian to see how that could be applied to different things, if I understand any of the technology at all.
Okay, give me an investigation check to check out the ship.
Oops.
It's a ship.
-4?
Dang.
Yeah, because you have intelligence, so I don't have any bonuses to intelligence.
I'm confused.
Richard, what are you looking at?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the bonus.
Yeah, that's the bonus.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, never.
I mean, it'd be really great if someone with high intelligence, awesome investigated, wink, or assisted, so I got advantage. Wink. But other than that, I'm just gonna study Dorian.
Okay.
And I'm gonna kind of say to Drix, this seems to be a pretty normal ship, at least as far as I saw, but my eyes could be deceiving me and I could be seeing it wrong. So I don't think there's anything special about the ship. I think it's just a normal freighter. It may have smuggling holds. I didn't see any, though. So.
Sure, we can always make some. Is it like a central computer thing, network on the ship? Or is it like all very compartmentalized stations?
I would think both, actually. You have a center system that controls everything, but if one system goes down, it shuts the airlock and closes that door, and if the main system goes down, every system can operate independently for a time.
What do you mean by control everything, Richard?
Me?
Yeah, like a central system.
Like a master, I guess, like a master terminal, or like how centralized is the control of the ship?
I feel like it would probably be pretty centered in the cockpit, though there's an engineering position, right? Like that's
Yeah.
one of the manning stations.
Mm-hmm. Engineering and sensor, and then the other two pilots have sensors as well.
Okay, so I guess that question will sort of be answered when we determine a layout for the ship itself.
Okay.
Because it may be that the layout shows more like a centralized command bridge, or not. I don't know.
Like where all the stations are, like
Right.
like a Star Trek bridge versus like Firefly all over the place.
Right. Or like the Millennium Falcon everything is controlled from one small cockpit, except for the gunning stations. But like there's no engineering on the Millennium Falcon. They just have to at various points crawl through various parts of the ship and fix them.
Right.
But it's not like in Star Trek where there's like the engineering bridge place where the engineer is. Or Firefly where there's an engine room.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have more specifics on that yet.
Okay.
Until we get there, I will be swishing my face to a window and looking out.
I guess I'll study Dorian with Mez.
Drix, have you been in space before?
No.
Okay.
Born and raised on whatever the fuck we just left.
Huh.
How did we leave? What was the planet saying?
There's a handy dandy Google Doc.
In resources files.
Oh, look at that! An anonymous squirrel just showed up.
Yeah. Born and raised to Tran. It's me.
Alrighty. Okay. So your journey continues. You hurtle through deep space for several days before popping out of warp near those coordinates. Now, so one thing about warp is that while the technology is like pretty effective, your destination is somewhat varied because it's not super precise where exactly you'll pop out of warp. So, for instance, it will get you into a star system, but it will not necessarily get you like into the orbit of a planet.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, there are generally areas of solar systems that people try to shoot for, and those are called warp zones. And you don't hang out in a warp zone because
Warp
a ship
zone.
could come out of warp in you. If that
Jeez.
makes sense.
Well, so would it be in you, or would they hit you very fast?
They would hit you super fast.
Okay.
I meant in you because they would effectively be in you because the two of you would kind of instantly vaporize.
Cool.
And it's extremely unlikely that that would happen because space is very, 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 very big. But there are like kind of horror stories of it happening, and so as a result, people are very scared of it.
You get in, you get out.
Yeah, and I think like to a certain extent that fear would make sense since space is kind of scary, and warp technology is not totally understood. So, the ship comes out of warp, slows down, in the orbit of a small, a little blue star. There are a couple of asteroid belts in the system, and a couple of gas giants. As you
How far
check,
off from the coordinates are we?
you're a few hundred AUs.
Okay.
Which with a sub warp drive, would take you maybe half a day to tool over to those coordinates. However, they seem to be pointed kind of into deep space beyond the edge of this system. Not any of those planets or asteroids. Other than that, there is no activity in this solar system. There are no colonized planets. There's a couple of old mining stations set up in the asteroid belts, but those asteroids have long since been mined of anything useful. Now they're pretty much just big floating heaps of carbon.
Just asteroids.
Yep, just rocks.
I'm gonna send a ping out to all of the mining stations.
Okay.
Just like anyone there.
You get a ping back, and it's just a generic. This station, property of Robot Asteroid Mining Corporation, has been closed.
Okay. Then I
The Tellarite Mining Consortium is no longer here.
put in the I start moving towards the actual coordinates. I was looking if there was anybody here so we could get fuel, but alas, poor Yorick, nothing.
You have enough fuel left for maybe some local warping, but not enough for any kind of longer journey.
How far was this from?
Etreya?
Atreya, thank you, Richard. It was going to take me a long time to get there. Yeah, how far was this from Atreya?
A few days it's a decent distance, but it's not like the other side of the galaxy.
Okay.
I don't know how to
So, like...
We can come up with a speed of how fast warp actually is and how many light years we've actually gone.
Sure. The other thing I would ask for is a galaxy map. That would be pretty
Right. Yeah, we
helpful.
could do that. Let's see. Okay. We have another hour. So, as you approach these coordinates, I assume the three of you go to the cockpit. And you get close enough that you're able to scan, and you see an object there. The object is fairly large. It's the size of a pretty large space station, floating out in dead space, in deep dead space.
Did Drix and I find a serial number, part number, a catalog listing, a identification? Yeah, any sort of identification about Dorian that says, bring him to these coordinates and tell me this ID number for him, or...
Nope.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Go on.
The space station, as you get it up on visual, on a visual, you can see that it's constructed around an asteroid, and there are several like a couple of large engines that have been attached to this asteroid, and then around that is built what looks like a massive fortress onto this asteroid, complete with giant gun turrets and ramparts and gunnery stations and stuff. So it's this sort of big, imposing fortress of steel and stone.
I put us into drift, so I basically shut down the engine, so we're now slowly drifting towards it.
Okay. So you're just going to drift towards it?
Yeah, and set out a communication. Or a ping.
Alright. After about 20 seconds after you send the ping, a comm line is open. And you see on your little video screen the face of a gamine, which, if you remember, is sort of a space gnome. And he's staring into the camera. He says, "State your business."
We have one of your products that needs to be repaired.
What? Take that up with manufacturing. What are you doing here?
You sent a message. It
Yes.
was inside of him.
Yes.
He leans closer to the camera. Inside of him? Him? What are you talking about?
Dorian. I know. I'm totally imagining an Edna mode looking through.
Yes,
security
I
cam at the
also
gate,
yes. Inside of him, we were specifically told to come to these coordinates.
Mastro, what's that name?
Marlota Chabinch.
Yeah, that kind of.
Him. You found him?
The beautiful creature.
Oh.
Found him, found us. Is now mostly destroyed. Needs repair.
And who are you? His eyes narrow in suspicion.
You.
Mez Ma Drix. We are companions of Dorian, as he liked to be called. He's your product. We are with him. That should be enough to get us in the door, at least, if you value your work.
My work.
Our friend needs help.
But she's
If
right.
you truly are telling the truth, then you shall prove your worth.
I should have prepared different spells.
I guess I have to.
Answer these 3 questions carefully.
I look at him, I go, man.
What?
Oh. Have you heard of the riddle the riddle of the Sphinx? It's a fairly common one. The answer's Matt. Never mind.
No. He waves you off. Now, to business.
To business.
Number 1. Your space Roomba has just stopped moving, and a puff of smoke came out of its top. Do you A. Repair the poor creature yourself? B. Dismantle it for parts? C. Bring it to the repair shop? Or D. Burn it like a Luddite?
What is causing the smoke? What issue came from it?
A, B, C, or D? It's a question.
Repair it myself. What I would do is I would diagnose it, and if I can't repair it, then take it to the repair shop.
That's not an option.
Repair it myself.
Number 2. What would be the biggest and most important invention? A. Precise warp travel. B. Sophisticated and safe controlled AI. C. Perfected genetic modification. D. Replacing all projectiles with laser weapons.
Pew pew.
A. Warp. Primarily because the ability to have precision warp outweighs the
I feel like it's far more
benefit.
widely useful than everything else.
The benefit that comes from safe AI, because a safe AI would take too long to implement and would get so much pushback, whereas precision warp would be adopted unanimously. Everybody would love that. There would be a lot of moral quandaries between safe AI.
What is the most perfect species? A. Sikaar. B. Elandi. C. Gamines. Or D. Humans?
None.
None? Explain.
What you mean explain? None.
He kind of peers curiously at what you assume is his screen to see you. You are an interesting one, aren't you?
I lean over to Drix and say, I mean, the answer's obviously Alandi.
What?
I lean over to you and say, the answer is obviously Alandi, which is my race. And I figured that you would say, no, it's human, because that's your race.
No. I would agree with Ma in this case.
I kind of look like that might just be because I'm uppity and have a strong preference for my race because we were semi-persecuted and are no longer in power. But I mostly stay silent. I was just kind of whispering that as an aside. Because they answered before I did, so...
Show him to me.
I like... Is this like a webcam that I can pick up?
This little GoPro.
It's probably embedded in the cockpit systems.
I issue a command to have the feed from the cargo bay where he is.
Oh, I was gonna go pick him up and bring him.
Sent over. Have that feed sent over.
Okay. It's interesting. There's security cameras.
Why wouldn't there be? It's a freighter, or it's a merchant freighter, and you would want to keep the cockpit separated enough from the cargo bay that if something went wrong in the cargo bay, the pilot would be able to see it without actually going back there.
But then how does the alien get the pilot? In the horror movie. Where the pilot is tricked to go to the cargo bay. And then disappears.
It's more like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing. Where it's like you're stuck in the room and you can like look at everything and you know it's coming, but you're like you can only seal so many things and then you steal the wrong one and it pops out and eats you. But if you don't like that, we can go get the body.
My questioning of it is mainly just that you only have a crew of 4 people, so it seems like security would be not a huge issue.
True, but I would, because it's a merchant vessel, I would think there would be some sort of separation that, like a bank, the one person would be able to see what is happening in a different, specifically where the merchandise is, so it can be taken care of, just in case something happens where thugs or whatever, or a deal goes wrong, that the pilot would be able to see the cargo bay, much as like a bank kind of thing, where you have that separation. Oh, let me look at this camera while I'm dealing with something else.
Perhaps we can come back to that when we like actually plan out the ship. And for right now, I will just grab Dorian and you know what? I want to hold him up like Quasimodo with Esmeralda. Sanctuary.
You know, if you type into a search bar Quasimodo Esmeralda, the first thing that comes up is fanfiction. Quasimodo Esmeralda, and it auto completes to fill in fanfiction.
I mean, that's the 4th option for me. So I don't know what your search patterns are, but
It's for research.
I mean, and also money.
yeah.
So
Google knows what's up.
um
Can't find a picture. Sanctuary.
I have an AO3 account now. Yay! So I can sell all the silliness. Okay. Well,
Wait, so
come in.
what did we decide? Did Ma
I
pick him
think
up?
Ma just held him up to the camera.
Okay. I say to Drix, we should install cameras.
Yeah, information's good.
Thanks, Richard.
Okay, so he says, "All right, come in. Docking Bay C."
I ignite the engines again and move to docking bay C.
Okay.
Since warp is based upon the power of the entity, how does the regular thrusters work? Are they iron thrusters, like such?
What is? I don't know.
Well, like
Is,
more like because there's no like are these fire ignition like thrusters that you have to have like actual ignition and that you should never kill your thrusters, or can it be like ion stripping where you strip off the ion, you just basically eject it from the back of your ship and that acts as the propulsion to push you forward?
Well, when we were on the planet, it was really loud, but it was also instant spool up.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just me thinking about it. This is why we should never play a sci-fi game. Because I get like I too interested in the technology. Yeah, so we dock and see.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to different kinds of engines and things. I'm not picky in that regard. Okay. Toby stepped away for a moment, so.
Yeah, so ion thrusters are basically taking and throwing ions out the back of the ship, and you don't have to have a fire that needs oxygen to propel you. You just throw ions out the back, and that acts as your propulsion. And that doesn't need. It's just a different kind of propulsion that
I think
is better to use in space.
better is debatable. Technologically, if we're using ions, that means that our fuel is like batteries or like electricity.
Yeah.
Because we need something to power that reaction going. That isn't liquid fuel that just explodes.
It also could be to get us off planet. We need actual
the heavy,
fuel. Yeah, heavy fuel,
flame thrusters.
But again, like you said, it has no spool up.
Okay, so he has invited us inside the building.
So,
you know what I imagine? I imagine he looks like Heimerdinger.
Who?
Oh, from League. I love playing Heimerdinger. He let you go turrets. He was like a Torbjorn, but a nerd, not a
Swedish midget jock.
Yeah.
Trying to find the vanilla skin. Is this the vanilla skin?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, it's like a cat with like a lot of fur.
I think it's just really more just like a hairy dude.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not super off from what he looks like.
It's just like you could hear his audio clips too. He's like, he has an accent sort of like that, and he's a shorter, okay. But yes, we're inside.
And the echo is real.
I'm going.
No.
Sorry, Mars. It'd be like, what is it, Michelangelo? And
Okay, so you guys dock, and And as the airlock slides open and you guys see the interior of the station, you find yourself in a quite large sort of hangar port area. It's sort of a singular docking space, so it's like one large, like octagonal area, and so you're in one of the ports, but there's like 8 of them, and they're all just facing in at that point. And it's just one of the points on the station. So this whole area is very, very large, and it looks kind of unused, in the sense that while it gives you the feeling of being old, but not worn down when you stand in this place. There are no other ships docked here. There are quite a few like large crates around, dotted throughout this hangar, but there were no other ships as you came in to dock. Excuse me. That were already positioned here. Nearby, an elevator hatch opens, and out of it hurries this little guy. He's a gamine, is maybe a meter tall, and as you saw in the picture before, he's quite kind of hairy, and his hair is just kind of like everywhere, like totally what is the word I'm looking for?
Unkept.
Unkept. Thank you. So he just looks kind of like this odd kind of figure, and he's like hurrying over to you excitedly. And he's just wearing like an old faded blue jumpsuit. Where is he? Where is he?
I kind of gesture to Ma, who's, I assume, holding him.
Okay. This way, this way, this way. He ushers you into an elevator, which lurches forward. It's like a little unsteady. It grinds a little at first. And then it speeds along through this asteroid. The sort of glass plates on the sides of the elevator display, you can kind of see the inside of the tunnel that it's in, and you can see that you're speeding through this asteroid, kind of like into its core.
So we said this place it's like old, but it's still like upkeep, and it's not like super dirty.
Right.
I guess. Okay, never mind. I'll say that later. Continue.
Okay. So you step out of the elevator and into a large workshop. There are giant machines all around that look like they're for manufacturing all kinds of different things. I'm forgetting now all the names of things I know. like industrial sized lathes and stuff. And big furnaces and arrays of computers and all kinds of things. And he runs over to a work table that's maybe like a foot off the ground, and he just like starts smashing everything off of the table and says, "Put him down, put him down."
I put him down.
All right. Oh my goodness! What has happened? What has happened?
He fell
Gravity.
a great distance.
A great distance. Great distance. Definitely. Well, we shall see what we can do. Wait over there. He gestures to several stools sitting nearby.
I take my stool, grab it, and like bring it closer to him so I can watch what he's doing.
Is he in a big room?
Yes.
I want to look around. I mean, not like just to see things.
Okay.
Not particularly looking or investigating, just stuff.
Drix?
I'm gonna keep standing nearby.
Okay. So he begins he begins by kind of like moving around Dorian and kind of poking and prodding at him, and sort of looking at where he's been broken or cracked open or sputtering, where motors are whirring pointlessly. And each time he kind of like gives this saddened sigh. It's like, oh no, oh, and just kind of like keeps moving around him and like checking this area. He's like, oh goodness, and checks over this area. Oh, what have they done to you? What have they done to you? Oh. Mm. He looks over to you two. Gravity. Gravity could take one of these down. Could do this.
It was a lot of gravity.
And so he starts kind of taking different tools and poking here and there.
Before he really starts getting into it, I ask him, is it too much for you to explain what you're doing? I've looked at his layout and I don't understand it, but if a situation arises where we need to repair him, I don't think it's always feasible for us to bring him back to you. It would be better if Drix and I knew how to repair him.
He looks up at you, and he kind of stops moving for a moment and narrows his eyes. How do you know this Dorian, as you call him?
He works with us.
He works with us. Honor among thieves. Better way to put it. As much as we know from him, the government has slighted him in some way, and he more wants revenge. And for us, he's helpful. As you can see, 2 out of the 3 of us are not the most adept at physical aspects. No offense, Strix. And having Dorian is a great addition to our small crew.
Your crew? He works with you. Thieves? Are you trying to tell me that this, and he gestures at Dorian, is a criminal?
What's wrong with that?
Of sorts.
This, and he gestures at Dorian again.
Dorian?
Obviously not a good one.
You know.
Not a good one. What? Who? What are you? What? This isn't a test. Thought this might be a test, but you really are just dud-odds, aren't you?
Oh, what?
I point to me and Ma. At least the 2 of us are.
What?
You don't even understand this. Gestures once again at Dorian.
Dorian. You don't even understand his name.
His name. Wow. He kind of like stares into space for a moment.
I let him have that moment, and when the eyes kind of focus, I will ask a different question. I'll say, is he a true AI?
He looks at you and grins like he's talking. He's looking at a child. A true AI.
Uninhibited by the creator, able to learn, process, and deal with new information without being limited by processes that created it. Does it have free will? Does it have sentience? Is it true? And is it highly illegal? Or is it just another machine?
Ma'am, there is really nothing more illegal than the perfection on this table.
Then, how do we repair it?
We? No. This was silly. Well, I must thank you greatly for bringing him to me. I never thought I would see him again, but it really is time that you should be moving on with your criminal endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He moves towards you, kind of like shooing you with his hands.
I'm not going anywhere.
Also sidestep him and say, we are as much of a criminal as you are, because we know what is on that table.
No. You misunderstand me. You are a criminal. This
Is a crime.
This is
This
God.
is Dorian.
And God is not a criminal also?
The, I cannot explain. There are laws and there are laws.
And you've
Did you
broken
make him?
many of them.
Girl, I've broken more than you could write in a lifetime.
I lived for a very long time.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yeah. The laws you break when you steal, like you probably stole that ship that's docked in the ring, those laws are nothing. Those are normal. Those are the laws of life. The law that disallows this beautiful, perfect creature. Those laws are a shambling animal smashing at anything that scares it. You are criminals. You are thieves and brigands. Nothing.
I like look over at Drix. Brigands.
The crime of this creature is
Now inexorably tied to us. Because we brought him here.
And now you fear for your own skins. Is that it? Is that it?
No. I want you to fix our friend.
It's not that I fear for my skin. I, truth be told, I fear for yours.
Are you threatening me, girl?
We can leave just as easily, but our friend comes with us. And then we enter an agreement. We are partners. We have your creation. We look after it. We make notes.
My creation. My. He just like bursts into laughter. Like this is the funniest thing. My creation. Okay.
Is it not yours?
I am flattered. I truly am. I am nothing compared to this. This is beyond the scope of anything you or I or any of us have or will ever see. This creature is something else entirely. I met Dorian many, many years ago. Under ironically similar circumstances.
Were you the criminal in this situation, or was Dorian?
I was a lonely, isolated engineer, and I was contacted by someone who needed my help. Do you know what that's like? To have something you've only dreamed of contact you and ask for your help. He looks kind of like in awe that this happened.
Maybe Dorian just happened. Like primordial ooze becoming life.
It could be.
I've never had that pleasure, no.
You may be right, Ma. I do not know where Dorian comes from, but Dorian is quite something else. And only illegal by the foolish Luddite, troglodyte laws of ignorant society.
I lean over to
Those are
Drix.
silly words.
Good thing we didn't say the burn one.
It is a
Say
good
what?
thing.
If we fix him, we could
The-
ask him where he comes from.
The first question where he's like, "Oh, do you burn the Roomba?" Good thing we didn't say that.
You could indeed ask, I guess.
How
But-
do we fix him? It.
Yes,
You don't. I shall take care of it. Now go. Shoo, back to your ship.
No.
Wait there
Mm.
until Dorian, as you call his being, is in better shape.
Can I wait outside the door?
So, are we always going to have to come back here when Dorian is in ill repair?
Well, how often do you think Dorian is going to be damaged this severely? The last time I saw Dorian was nearly 45 years ago.
Based upon our last endeavor, frequently.
Who knows?
Is it not better to teach two of us
Teach.
how
Teach.
to...
I've spent a lifetime learning the bare necessities of repairing the most minimal damage to this exquisite creation.
Then how do you expect to repair this? This is not minimal.
This is
Maximal.
this is this is maximal. This is doable. I shall see what I can do.
And is it better? Is it not better to have help?
I've had help in the past. Do you see help around here now?
I look at Drix. 2, actually.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm certainly no help with this.
A Bombra would be more useful.
Or really?
But we're what you get.
You can wait outside.
Okay.
I don't move.
Oh, well, I'm already outside.
I take a seat back on the stool.
Aren't you clever? And you? Looks over at Drix.
If it's all the same, I would like to watch.
It is most certainly not all the same. He hits a button on the work table, and it begins to rise. It floats several inches above the ground. And then he hits a button, and it begins moving across the workshop floor.
I follow.
Yep.
Assistant. And how long do you wish to wait?
My amount of time that I wish to wait is probably far greater than Drix's because I live far longer.
Do you live far longer without food?
We have sustenance.
Well, this creature can certainly wait. And he clicks a button and the platform rises up into the air and floats about 20 feet up in the air. Good night. And he walks towards the hatch at the end of the hall.
Well,
As he reaches the hatch, he turns back. Did you want to sleep in here?
If you have a place for us to sleep, we will take it.
Ah, yes. Follow me.
I call out for Ma. Ma!
yes.
Time for sleep, I guess. While we wait.
I'll stay here.
Okay. I say to Ma, use your communicator. Use your communicator. If you need us. I follow.
Same.
Aye, Captain.
Okay. So you guys follow him. He leads you into an elevator. The elevator begins whizzing through the asteroid once again. And the door slides open to reveal a quite a dark room. But he steps out into it. Come.
I follow, unimpeded by the darkness.
Do you have dark vision?
Mhm.
Okay. You're in the hangar, the docking hangar.
Hmm.
Come.
I start stepping,
You start what?
walking out of the elevator.
Okay. So the two of you follow him, and he leads you to an airlock, and he hits the button, and it opens up onto your ship.
For a second, I was like,
Good
shit,
night.
he's just ejecting you into space?
Good night, he says, gesturing into the ship.
Are you going to get us when you start your repairs?
This has been exhausting. I need to sleep.
Get us,
John, is he?
please, when you start.
What, Toby?
Oh, I was just gonna say, does he say anything when I decided to stay?
Nope. He just nodded.
Just checking.
Yep. Okay, so Mez and Drix, what are you guys up to?
Oh, it says, please get us when you start repairs.
Yes, I will let you know.
Then I get onto the ship and I bed down.
Yeah,
Drix?
same.
Okay. So he closed the airlock. Ma, what do you do when they all leave?
I go to sleep.
Okay. Do you just like lie on the floor, or how does a bomber sleep?
Mm, I guess I could pretty much just sleep anyhow. Um, I assume there's more floor space than wall space, correct?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'll just lie on the floor. I mean, flavor-wise, I probably won't be bleeping much. I'll just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be talking to myself and quote unquote Dorian, being like, space. I was in space today. It was cool.
Okay.
And then sleep.
Um. Okay, you are all awakened when a loud alarm blares through the station and through your ship. Um, yes, so a loud siren alarm and red flashing lights begin showing all around your ship and through the station, Ma.
I
Oh, shit.
roll over and immediately go to the cockpit and start trying to investigate what is causing the alarm.
Okay. Drix,
I also run to the cockpit or whatever their engineering station is on the ship.
okay. Ma, you are awakened to the workshop where you see the platform holding Dorian rising up into the air, and the engineer coming towards you very quickly, holding a screen. Do you know what this is? He shows you on the screen, and the other two of you also see this as a scanner, and it shows a ship heading straight towards the station.
I immediately
That's a
radio
ship.
Ma and say, "Ship incoming. Might have tracked us. Don't know what it is. Tell the engineer to be prepared."
Oh, he knows. We see that ship.
I is yeah. Go on.
It's an old cargo hauler, but my sensors are picking up. That is not a normal cargo hauler. And he shows Ma, he shows you on the screen that his system is detecting a number of weapons on the ship, including 2 large cannons.
Are we safe in here?
That is a good question. Good question. He looks kind of nervous. Oh,
Don't worry. We're not going anywhere.
well, that is a comforting thought. Thank you. Do you know who this is?
No. Right? I mean, I don't know who it is, right, John?
No. I
Right,
don't think
yeah.
you've seen this ship before.
John, do I have any recognition of the ship?
The model is a common one in Etrian space. Let's see. Roll 1d6. You haven't seen this ship before, but you know that this is a ship that is frequently used by criminal syndicates on Itrea.
I think it's a syndicate ship. They may have tracked us through our warp, and this is the only thing that's in this system. So, if the engineer plays coy, we should be fine.
Here's hoping.
I
Is our ship visible from space, or like we were like in?
We're in a dock.
You're in a dock, but you're like the ship isn't in the asteroid. It's docked to an airlock on the asteroid.
Shit.
So your ship is visible. So a comm signal is sent out.
We don't have to answer.
Probing for anyone to pick up. The engineer looks over at Juma. What do I do? Who are these people?
They're like us.
They're
But
like
it is
you.
probably best if you do not tell them about us.
Do they know about... He looks up at the platform holding Dorian.
I do not see why they would. Not about his insides anyway, but they know his outsides.
Okay.
John, are they sending out a comm thing to him too?
Yeah, it's basically just like...
I guess I mean like in the room here, like can he like is...
Yeah, on the little
Being-
pad you can see that there's a signal incoming. But Mez and Drix, you can see that there's this comm probe going out. This ping coming in.
Perhaps they should come back inside.
I kind of motion to Drix like, do you want to go back in, and I will stay with the ship in case I need to draw them away.
We should probably be preparing for a combat.
How far can a space card get in space? Or a
You
sky
cut
card?
out for most of that.
How far can a sky card get in space?
I would guess that the relative speeds are really low. That a sky car is much slower than a ship. But I don't know. Does hyperlanes have something about that? It has speed.
Is space a different scale?
I don't know. I haven't read through all of how space combat with stuff works. So what do you guys do?
I say to Drix, we don't have any guns on this ship, so it is probably better if we go to the engineer and stay with him.
Do we not have guns on the ship?
You have a
Is
gunner
that-
station.
Did they like strip the ship when they put it in the impound lot
I
of
mean, it's
gun mounts?
it's a freighter. It's a merchant freighter. I'm not sure it has any guns attached to it.
Well, I
There's a
mean, the
gunner
book says
station,
it has
remember?
it. Yeah. Wondering if ours has
It's
any.
still there.
That's a good question. I don't know. John?
Space God.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm wondering.
Space God.
I would be pretty sure. I mean, we can talk about it maybe more next week when we talk about more specifics of the ship. But I would be pretty sure it wouldn't have ammunition
Okay.
regardless.
Like, damn.
'Cause I doubt that they would leave ammunition on an impounded ship, even if there
Okay.
was a gun. Does that
I
make sense?
believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna
So
call the
we-
engineer.
Rip off the gun and we throw it at them.
I calm the engineer and ask, are those cannon emplacements operational on this station?
Cannon placement? Oh, no.
I laugh in character.
No, those are a bit of theater.
Do you have theater ammunition for them, or
Well, I haven't really had an occasion to try. Can certainly see if my designs were good. You think these are enemies?
they very well could be?
Possibly. But perhaps you should answer the signal without mentioning us.
Yes, of course. He taps the screen and state your business, just like he said to you guys.
Side note, we are very clearly not standing around him so that they see us and scream.
Yeah. I think actually, wait, are Drix and Mez, are you guys still on the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, well
Okay.
then just me.
So just Ma, and you're just standing to the side, so you're out of frame.
Yeah.
And so you can't see the screen, but you can hear the voice on it. And what voice should I do for this one? Any
Please.
preferences on accent?
Please not Gren.
Sloth DMV worker.
I was gonna go New Zealand, but Richard got there first.
Welcome. Wait, didn't I already do a voice that was like the sloth?
Well, you did the Vogons.
Oh, that's right. You just like slow speaking characters, don't you?
Gives us more time to think.
It does give me more time to think too, I guess.
Got you there.
Our business is the
Imagine talking to someone off screen. What is your business again?
What's our business again?
What are we doing
What's my
here?
voice supposed to sound
What are we
like?
doing
I sound a
here?
lot like the engineer. Plan the session. Forgot to plan this, boys. We are looking. Bug out. Someone's
Sorry,
bugging out. Jeremy's
didn't.
bugging
I
out.
didn't. I meant to click the icon.
Premature evacuation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I
Eh.
prematurely bugged out.
We are looking for criminal lowlifes carrying stolen goods on a stolen vessel. Turn them over to us now. The engineer kind of looks up at Ma, like,
I mean, but the channel's still open, right? So if I say anything,
right.
I guess I. Oh, that doesn't work. I don't have a. Oh, idiot. Okay. I think it to him. Duh. Telepath.
All right.
So you might
What
be a
do
little
you think?
confused, but I tell him, I'm like, you don't know where we are. We came, you did not allow us to stay, and we left. Side note, oh shit, wait, the guys aren't 60 feet within 60 feet of me, right? Giant asteroid ship.
Yeah, no, they're too far away.
Okay, so I can't ask their opinion. What does that say? Does that sound? Yes, because I mean, they can see our ship, so clearly been here. But yeah, I think it to him. You're crotchety to us. Be crotchety to them. You tell them. No, they came and I said fuck them, and they left.
So he begins relaying this message. He like immediately nods, like, good idea, and
Question: He doesn't
begins.
get any weirded out by my thought in his brain.
Nope.
Nice.
And shoot, sorry. Okay, so
Making the DM face himself. Classic.
yeah, I know. I didn't really. It's somewhat rare, right? Like,
Yeah, it actually really is. Where
I
we got you into a position where you are the character against yourself.
yeah, this is awkward. Just have a conversation with myself. Like you guys watch. So he relays that story to the guy being pretty crotchety. So I told them to get out of here. No time for thieves or brigands. They can go hide somewhere else. Then why is their ship docked on your station?
Tell him we left it there, but you did not see what we left in.
They
Or something like
left it here. They left it there. Yep. And they left. Boy, isn't this fun, guys?
Are we able to listen in on this conversation, or are we out of this connection?
Well, we don't want them to know we're here. So
You were talking to Ma, so I assume you have an open comm line.
Yes, but also I don't want to say anything because then they can hear that someone else is
Right.
speaking.
Here's how this will work. You will
You
hand
might
them.
have to play Diversion, Maz. Oh, I'm sorry, I lagged.
What?
I think I lagged and disconnected for like 5 seconds or something.
You did.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. What were you saying?
Just saying to Mez that I think we might have to play Diversion.
I think so too.
So we should probably prep the ship.
Uh-huh.
So you guys prepping the ship to launch?
We're basically sealing ourselves off, and I'm not getting things started, but I'm making it so like we can immediately take off. Like I'm breaking the connection, but because of like inertial speed, we should stay. It should still look like it's connected.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
You will hand them over, or I will destroy your station. What do you want these people for anyway? They are carrying stolen property. He's sweating now. He looks over at you, Ma. What did they steal? They stole 500 kilos of Nova from the Tau Syndicate of Etrea.
Wait, no, we didn't. I am not saying this out loud, by the way. Don't.
They are petty thieves, drug dealers, swindlers.
Lies, lies, lies. Fuck. What do we do? I can't talk to.
So John,
Yep.
D&D has like improvised melee weapons, right? Like you can take a cup and hit someone with it.
Right.
What do you think about like improvised space weapons, like loading junk into the cannons?
Like putting walnuts into a blunderbuss?
I think it would depend on the type of weapon you're using.
Are ships laser weapons? Or are they also projectile?
That's a good question. What do you guys think?
Projectile sounds like it'd be cheaper or like more crude, and I think a freighter would probably not err on the side of technologically advanced weaponry.
I concur.
Probably, yeah.
So it has a projectile of some kind. Is that like a Gauss cannon? Or is it like an artillery piece? What do you guys think?
I think this is a sticky situation.
Or like a missile launcher? Like
He said something about testing his inventions. What does he have?
Oh, like testing the defense systems?
Yeah.
I would say it's probably more like a Gauss cannon. Like a railgun. Sorry, now I'm in a actually weird loop where a railgun is different than a coil gun, and a coil gun is a Gauss rifle.
What?
I thought all three of those were the same thing.
Coil and rail or a coil and Gauss, yes, because it uses coils to do it. And a railgun is 2 conductive rails, and the bullet slides through that, as opposed to being on a single rail and electromagnetic fields, and then being thrown through. They're similar.
It's the same principle that you're hurling a thing really fast with electromagnetism.
Yes. How they do it is different, though.
Okay, well, let's see. I think you could improvise something, some kind of way of firing the cannon. It would probably be extremely bad for the cannon. Oh. Toby,
Okay.
you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you dropped out of roll 20.
Oh, I mean, I closed the screen because my battery was going down, and there's nothing on the screen that we were
Right. That's fair.
looking
Okay.
at.
Sorry, I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. No, I'm still alive.
I know you're like 10 feet from me. Okay, so so yeah, you could probably improvise some way of firing the cannon, but it would be very, very bad for the cannon.
Right.
And possibly not go well.
Well, good to know.
You have 10 seconds to hand them over. 10.
Okay, so hang up on them because clearly they believe we're here. Fuck it.
Okay, he like hurriedly taps the screen and goes, "What do we do?"
Oh my god. Okay,
I
I call the guys. Guys, what do we do?
I say, fire at them, don't hit me, and punch it.
Okay. And that's where we're gonna leave the session.
Yay.
So, there you have it. Unfortunately, yeah, we had a shorter session, and I have no idea what happened to Austin.
I think it worked out. With Austin being gone, it worked well enough.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was in pieces.
Right. I had hoped that he was going to be here, and I had literally I talked to him about it like yesterday.
Life.
Or no, I talked to him about it on Friday. That's when I talked to him.
Well,
And
there's your problem.
yeah, I didn't remind him right away.
Actually,
Human sleep.
Richard, I guess that's on us because we talked to him last night.
I mean, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't really say anything to him. He was there. I think we said, "Oh, hey, Austin." That was that.
Okay,
Alright,
okay.
That was indeed
So yeah,
fun.
I think that worked out well enough.
Indeed. Now we will get to see my my flying skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get to see some of Drix's ingenuity, perhaps.
No.
No?
Nope.
You're not going to do it?
I don't know.
We shall see. Shall be interesting.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Join us next time on Signatori Campaign.
I like how we end on a cliffhanger every time so far. It's pretty rad. I mean, it's only twice, but pretty rad.
It's pretty rad.